Hi everyone, how are you all doing? My name is Natalie. If this is the first time that you're watching my videos, thank you so much for being here. I hope that if you enjoy what I do and share on this channel, you can consider subscribe and share it with your friends. I'm a Western tropical astrologer. I use a whole sign house system to do all my forecasts and readings here on this channel. And in this video, we are talking about this upcoming week astrology forecast. So this video will be talking about January 12 to 18 of 2026. This week we have quite a packed week with astrological aspects and energy, so let's dive in. If you watch my last week's video, I touched on the aspect that is happening during the weekend leading into the beginning of this week, and I personally had something pretty big that just happened. Without going into the detail of it, long story short, a little bit of family stuff, which really resonate with the aspect that was happening and aspecting my chart. So that is why I am recording and uploading this video a little later than I usually do. But we will still recap everything that's been happening on Monday, so you can take a look and see if those energy come up for you or not. But leading from the weekend until the early of this week, Monday and Tuesday, we have all the personal planets taking turn to aspect Chiron in Aries. So we have Venus on the 11th squaring Chiron in Aries, and then on the 12th, Monday, we have the Sun in Capricorn square Chiron and Aries. And on Tuesday today, while I'm recording this video, we have Mars in Capricorn squaring Chiron and Aries, all at 22 degrees. And basically all these planets in Capricorn squaring Chiron and Aries, to some extent, they are all telling us the same thing. And funny enough, well, not funny, I guess, they all just have a cazimi. Mars and Venus just conjunct Sun and had a cazimi last week, in the beginning of the last week. So now they all taking turn to square Chiron in Aries in some way, shape, or form. Those cazimi signify a new cycle, a new beginning of Venus and Mars in Capricorn. So personally, in your Capricorn house, there's some kind of new cycle beginning that you might want to plant seed or set intention to last week. But at the end of last week leading into early this week, there might be some internal fear coming up, or negative self-talk, or somehow it trigger your past wound or experience coming up, because Chiron in Aries is talk about perhaps the pain, the wounds, the traumas you have experienced, that if you choose, because we are free will, if we choose to heal, to embrace, to accept, and to heal from them, it can also turn into knowledge and wisdom, and also to empower you to perhaps share your experience or allow others to do the same. So perhaps those intentions or seeds that you want to plant also trigger those coming up for you, because maybe you will think it will trigger you to think back, well, when I did that last time, it didn't happen, or, you know, maybe I failed, or I hit some obstacles, challenges, maybe I gave up, right? And this might trigger those past experience back up. So the beginning of the week might feel a little tender thinking about those. If those resonate with you, just know that it is not to pull you down, but to remind you that, hey, it's okay. It doesn't mean it will repeat again. Maybe you can reflect from what happened so that you can do it better this time, or know how to navigate this time. On the 14th, we have couple aspects happening. First, we have Mercury in Capricorn opposed Jupiter in Cancer at 19 degrees. So this aspect can, because Jupiter is an expansion of energy, right? So in some way, Jupiter in Cancer is magnifying, expanding that Mercury in Capricorn energy. So today, something small like a conversation, a thought, or an idea might be blown out of proportion. There's a possibility of that because Mercury talks about our conversation, our thoughts and idea. When we are exchanging words today, when we are exchanging ideas or thought today, maybe there's a tendency for that to happen. So be mindful of that energy. Maybe there will be an overabundance of news, information that is floating around on a collective level or in your personal world. Maybe work is just like so hectic. There's like information coming from all this different direction, and it can feel overwhelming for some of us. Or maybe there's just a lot happening in the world today because as above, so below, all these aspects are being felt personally and on a collective level. So people might react to some information or news in a bigger way, right? Because Jupiter tend to magnify everything. So maybe we are more sensitive. We are easily overwhelmed today with the overloading of energy. So practice discernment and also set boundaries. Allow yourself to carve out time, right? Maybe there's just a lot of information or news happening. Maybe we do want to know, but know our limits, right? Create pockets of time to just time out if it's feeling too much, have your grounding work. But at the same time, maybe all this information will also in some way broaden our horizon, allow us to learn more about certain things or topic or what is happening in some parts of our world as well. Another aspect that is happening is Venus in Capricorn sextile Saturn in Pisces at 27 degrees. So this is interesting because both planets are in each other's sign in some way, and there's some kind of mutual reception. So they are kind of having this harmonious dialogue with each other. They're bouncing off each other because Venus is in Capricorn, which is a sign ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is in a sign that Venus is exalted in, Pisces. So they are kind of in each other place, but signs that they are both exalted or they rule that sign. So there's this kind of mutual understanding and reception happening over here. So sextile is also a supportive energy. Of course, sextile is more of a supportive energy that also need us to take action in order for them to manifest as well. So Venus sextile Saturn can be a day to remind people that you care, that you love, how important they are to you. Who doesn't want to be reminded that they are loved, they are cared for, especially with so much happening around the world. So this can be a day where you spend some time with your loved ones, do something that makes you happy. For some people, not all, having Venus sextile Saturn, it can be a day where you want to commit to someone or something as well, because Saturn talks about building, talks about long-term. Venus talks about relationship. Maybe for some, this can be catching up with a close friend, hanging out with your bestie. Maybe this is for some, locking it down, signing a contract, right? This can be, business relationship, right? Locking it down with a partner or collaborating, solidifying something in the business. Or this can also be you wanting to commit yourself to a creative project or ideas, because Pisces is a creative sign, talks about creativity. Or this can also be with somebody, right? This talks about relationship. Maybe you want to spill your heart and confess your feelings to someone and start a relationship. On the 15th, we have Venus in Capricorn having a trine with Uranus in Taurus at 27 degrees. This can be a risk-taking aspect, because Uranus is that wow card factor, is that unpredictable energy. And Venus in Capricorn is perhaps taking a calculated risk, but you decide to, you know what, I'm just gonna do it, right? Not without stop thinking about it so much, planning so much, but just take action, right? And of course, this can be a fun energy for couples or friendship, because Venus talks about relationship. Maybe this is being adventurous, trying out a new restaurant, trying out a new type of cuisine that you've never do, or try out a exercise activity that you've never done before with your bestie or your loved ones or your partner. And then we have another aspect happening. We have Mercury in Capricorn squaring Chiron in Aries at 22 degrees. So this can be a bit tender. So we have different people feeling different aspect, because when a day where there's multiple aspect happening, chances are some might feel one of the aspect more than the other, because it depends on how they are showing up on your natal chart as well, right? So Mercury square Chiron can be a tender day where you have a healing conversation, where you have a conversation with someone, maybe about setting boundary, you know, maybe that person hurt you, that person crossed the boundary, or vice versa. And today is the day to address it. Hey, you know, I feel hurt because of da 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 da, and this is what I'm asking you to do. Maybe I need to set a boundary. Maybe I need to let you know how I feel, right? Express myself, let you know that you hurt me. 17. Okay, we literally have things happening every day almost. 17 is another busy day. So first we have Venus in Capricorn sextile Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees. And then we have the Sun in Capricorn sextile Saturn in Pisces at 27 degrees. So both together can talk about setting a long-term plan and start taking action towards it as well. Of course, we're not saying that you have to do everything today, but these two aspects putting together can feel like that. Maybe today is the day where you want to set some new intention. Today is the day where you start taking tangible action, taking a tiny small step towards a long-term plan, towards a long-term goal or dream that you set for yourself, right? And this can be something maybe about healing, about creativity, about creative project idea. And shortly after, we have Venus entering Aquarius, a vibe shift in the planet of Venus. So Venus will enter Aquarius 4:43 a.m. Pacific time or 8:48 p.m. Hong Kong time. So just the time according to where you are in the world. Venus in Aquarius, even though Aquarius is a sign that is ruled by Saturn as well. So I use traditional astrology. So Aquarius is not ruled by Uranus, it's ruled by Saturn. Because I know modern astrologers, most of them, they say Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. But to me, I feel the traditional astrology resonate a little bit more. Personally, for me, there's no right or wrong, but that's just how I see it. So Venus in Aquarius is a little bit different from Venus in Capricorn, even though they're both ruled by Saturn. Venus in Aquarius is a little bit more cerebral, because Aquarius is a fixed air sign. It's more airy, is more about the thought, more about the conversation, more about the mind. Whereas Capricorn is a grounded yin earth sign. So it's more about what is grounded. Whereas Aquarius is more up here, right? It's a little also eccentric. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit out there, maybe. It's just a little bit avant-garde as well, because Aquarius is that quirky, weirdo energy, right? That might not align with everyone in some way, shape, or form. So, like I said, Aquarius is a fixed air sign. So when Venus is in Aquarius, what attracts us, what makes us feel beautiful and sexy might be something different. the mind, the intellectual, the knowledge, the wisdom, words, all these become sexy, right? And attractive. I would say Venus in Aquarius is attracted by intelligence, right? They like people that are smart with the words, or they know a lot. If they are able to teach you something new, share something new with you that you did not know, you're like, ooh, that is so sexy, right? So that is Venus in Aquarius. Venus in Aquarius is also about finding joy, finding love, not just in your partner or your loved ones. It's also about you know, some of the Venus in Aquarius people, they are very humanitarian people, but they also don't particularly like people in some way, shape, or form. I know, right? Very ambiguous. But so they love the idea of the connectiveness, that community vibe, being with friends and connecting with friends and communities, but not maybe like people, you know. I hope you know what I'm trying to say here, but that's the energy when it comes to Venus in Aquarius. So talking about humanitarian, Aquarius, other than Gemini, Aquarius is the other sign that has a person, a human in the symbol, right? It's that water bearer, right? And so Aquarius essentially is a sign that is very much about the collective. It's about what brings us together and what united us together. It's about the humanitarian work, mind, thinking, you know, the greater good. So during Venus in Aquarius, perhaps we might embody that energy. And with so much happening on a collective level, I love that we are having this Venus in Aquarius. Perhaps during this transit, it can remind us or even help awaken more people to understand how interconnected we all are with each other, no matter where we are living on this floating blue and green dot, but we all are connected. Everything that people in one place do or act can have a ripple effect out to the rest of the world as well. And once Venus being the first personal planet stepping into the sign of Aquarius, will immediately have this very deep, cathartic vibe to it, because guess who's there? Pluto. Pluto is right there in the beginning in Aquarius, and they will conjunct next week. So that is why right after Venus enter Aquarius, there's this sense of purging, this sense of connecting at a deeper level. Perhaps you will feel this urge to really, you will feel more moved and connected with the collective in some way, shape, or form, because of that Pluto energy sitting right in the beginning of the sign of Aquarius as well. Last but not the least, we have our new moon in Capricorn happening 18 or 19. So the new moon in Capricorn happening January 18, 11:51 a.m. Pacific time, or January 19, 3:51 a.m. Hong Kong time. So just the time according to where you are in the world. It's happening with the sun and the moon at 28 degrees 43 minutes in the sign of Capricorn. So very towards the very end, almost at the energetic last degree of the Capricorn. This is a lovely new moon, actually, because of all the aspect that is happening. Because we just have that Venus and Mars cazimi happened last week, which is still very much close together. We also have Mercury right there in the last few degrees as well. And we also have, during this new moon, Saturn, which is the ruler of this new moon, because Saturn ruled Capricorn, along with Neptune and Pisces, they're all sextile during this new moon, right? So the sun and the moon sextile Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, which we just mentioned actually. So all these aspects, they're very much still very strong and being baked into this new moon energy. And also Mercury and Mars, they are all in Capricorn. So all these energy in some way, shape or form, signifying a new cycle, new beginning that is wanting to take place. And we're also having a new moon. So there's like a lot of newness that's wanting to come through during this new moon in Capricorn. And we are being, if you don't feel it, that is okay too. But we are all being invited with all these aspects, all this energy that is happening. Last week and this week, we're all being invited to rewrite a new story in our Capricorn house or in a particular area in our life. Maybe it has to do with your personal finance. Maybe it has to do with, depending on which house is ruled by Capricorn in your chart, maybe those are the themes and topics that you would love to set a new intention or plant new seeds around those areas of your life. But Capricorn is also talking about maybe perhaps setting a new intention or planting new seeds of a long-term plan that make you feel safe and secure within yourself, within your body. What makes you truly feel safe and secure within your body. Okay, because we're talking about this card. This is Four of Pentacles. This is the third decan of Capricorn, which is where the new moon is happening. And you can see in this card, this person is holding on, you know, stepping on two and having one here and grabbing onto the last coin. So it's not, I know it can really easily be direct in that frugal energy that it's not, there's no right or wrong, but there's a little bit of that in this card, but it's more so like you are holding on to what makes you feel safe and secure, what makes you feel grounded and practical, because they are literally things that are tangible that you can touch and grab on, that makes you feel safe and secure within yourself, right? Within your body. And Pentacle is not just about money. Yes, it is about money, but it is also about what is tangible, what's physical, right? So perhaps during this new moon, we are all being invited to, what are those things to you? Maybe for some it's literal. Money makes me feel safe and secure, and that's okay, right? Maybe for some this is about having meaningful connection. Maybe this is about having people that share the same value, right? Coins in some way, shape or form is about your values, your self-worth, your sense of self, right? How you see the world, how you see the physical stuff that is in this world right now, right? So we're being invited during this new moon to ponder on this kind of stuff, right? Perhaps you want to ask yourself these questions, and everyone's definition might not be the same, because like I said, for some, maybe you need like a lot of money in order to make you feel safe and secure. But maybe for some, this is not about having a lot of money. Maybe some people have very little but still feel like they are fulfilled. Maybe some people is about feeling aligned with their purpose. If they are following their purpose, they are fulfilling their purpose or not. And for some, maybe this is about your self-value, right? How you see the world, how you see yourself. That will be something that you're being invited to ask yourself as well. And between having all these physical things in this 3D world and aligning with your own values, your self-worth, and your purpose, can we find that sweet spot of meeting in the middle, of having the physical things, but also feeling aligned, right? So where is that sweet spot for you? And how can you plant seeds around those areas, those topics as well? And something interesting is that the ruler of this new moon is Saturn, which is right now in the last couple degrees in the sign of Pisces. Very soon, next month. Actually, you know what? Today is January 13th that I'm recording and uploading this video. And in exactly 1 month, February 13, or maybe for some time zone is 14. Yeah. Saturn will then enter Aries and stay in Aries for the next 2-3 years. And new moon is a 6-month cycle. So what we set intention and plan seeds around this new moon, we'll take a look in 6 months and reflect how they have been showing up, if they show up or not, and how have they been for us, for how have they developed in this 6-month cycle, right? The world card is Saturn, so that's why I'm taking it up. So in some way, shape, or form, I also feel like this 6-month cycle, perhaps during the first month when Saturn is still in Pisces, whatever new intentions, whatever new cycles you want to begin, you want to initiate, whatever things you want to initiate or start or begin, it requires you to do some kind of letting go, some kind of closing out, some kind of shedding away in some way, shape, or form. Because during this first month, Saturn is still in Pisces, is where we need to close out something in order for this new seed or intention to then put in motion and begin to start and take place and develop. So that's just kind of my 2 cents thinking. So it kind of requires us to pivot too in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, so this is what is happening this week. I know it's a lot, so just take some time to digest all the information. Feel free to come back as many times as you want. You can even come back by the end of the week. To come back, it might sink in a little bit more after the week, because you will be you will have experienced all these aspects already. So but do it in whatever way you like. And since I'm still here, and if you're still listening, I am hosting a webinar this weekend, actually under this new moon and Capricorn energy. I thought it would be really nice to do a 2026 astrology webinar where I'll break down all the major trends and aspects that is happening this year, because it's a roller coaster year. So much is going to happen. We are going to feel it individually and on a collective level. So I want to kind of break it down in a big picture form so that you can see how are they showing up in your personal chart. So if you are interested, please feel free to join us. You can comment below. I can send you I can email you. The best way to get in touch is by email, which is in the description box below. Check out that post in the community board as well. Or you can also find me on Instagram, follow me there too as well. And you can DM me there if you want to join. If you cannot join live, don't worry. You can also get the recording as well, because I will record the whole webinar. It's like 19 minutes long. So you are getting a lot out of it. And for those, if you can join live, there's a little bonus gift for you. You will have a one-off 50% coupon that you can use towards a half-an-hour astrology consultation, which you can get anytime during 2026, which we can work on your chart at a personal level, because we will be moving through a lot. So a personal session is where I can talk to you one-on-one, and you can ask me anything. So if this is something that you're interested, please check out more detail on the community post or in Instagram, or email me if you have any question. You can also comment below. Thank you so much for being here. I am sending you so much love, so much new moon blessing. I am so grateful for you all, and I'll see you next week.